All right. Now that I understand how this works, now that I understand how is my data sheet working, I do want to point out that not just because you have tons and tons of data, that doesn't mean that you have to use all the data. You need to start from one place. So the place where I want to start from is from the very, very top. So what I want you to do now is I want you to focus only on the highlighted things. Forget about all the other numbers and just put attention to the things that are inside of the squares. What I see is that my success rates, the success rates for my class, are lower than the ones for all the sections combined. My students for this class are not performing as well as students from other classes, from other faculty members, or from other classes that I could even be teaching, not this particular one. Because of that, again, there's many ways to do this, but because of that, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna look only at my results now, trying to understand if this is happening across all my demographics groups, or if there are any particular groups that are pulling my numbers down. Table is what you both mentioned. On one side, I see that, for example, Asian students, Filipino students, yeah, the percentages are very low, but we are talking about only 3 and 1 student. So it is very hard for me to really tell if something is going on. Now, on the other side, for Latino students, yeah, maybe the base, there's also not a lot of students, but at least I have a little more students. I have 23 students and only 10 were successful. So I think I have a little more confidence that at least I can talk about Latino students for this particular one. So to me that my Latino students are the ones that are pulling down my numbers. They're moving my numbers down, but I also see that my younger students, the one from the age group 20 to 24, and actually some people are mentioning that in the chat, people with 20 to 24 years, they are also underperforming, and they are also 27 students. So I'm going to take a leap and say, okay, I'm going to talk about those two particular groups. Now, so at this point, what I want to do is I want to focus on these two groups, Latino students and younger students. I'm going to look at the same group in the other column to understand if there's something happening in the other classes or if it's just something that is happening in my class. Okay, but for now, we're going to think that these are, we're not going to try to combine them. We're just going to think about Latino, and we're going to think about younger students. So I have interest in these two groups, okay? So now that I isolated in the next boxes that I have, what I'm doing is that I'm paying just attention to my two groups, Latino students and younger students. So what caught my attention when I look at this data was the fact that Latino students are underperforming in my class, but they are not underperforming at the course level. The same goes for younger students. They're underperforming in my class, but not at in the other classes with other faculty. So for me, this means that more likely than not, whatever that is going wrong in here, it has maybe to do something, with something that I'm doing. So maybe if things were the other way around, say that also course data, you know how we have, and let me try to get it, let me see if I can put a pointer. Can you see my mouse, my
yeah.
Pointer? Okay. So right now I have 43% and I have 92%, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever is going on here, it seems like it's related to me. If I had a similar percentage in here, say a 45% or 50%, and also here something like 40% or 42%, what I would be thinking is, hey, you know what? This is more of an structural program. It's some sort of a structural problem. Maybe all the faculty that are teaching classes or teaching this particular class, we're not getting something. Somehow we're not engaging with this particular kind of groups, right? So that's another scenario. But for this particular one, we're going to say, no, it seems like at the general level, they are doing well. It's just in my class where they are not doing very well.